I was born in the Philippines and then immigrated to America when I was 8 years old. We I grew up around in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've lived there for about 10 years of my life. I remember coming here 2021 because I'm a transfer student. I was like, man, these engineering classes are gonna be really hard. Like, I was scared. I was really scared, but also like I just remember it's like, damn, I kind of came far from from taking all these calculus classes. I see why not. Like, let's just do it. And it wasn't that bad as I expected. I thought it was just gonna be. Don't get me wrong. There was this one class. It was bad. Like I would say it was my solid mechanics class. His test was so hard. Like I remember I was just like my first two midterms, I had a 38 and a 39. And I was like, man, me and my homie, we were both taking the classes, and he was like, bro, we got to sign up for the next semester for the same class. And then he was like, should we just drop out now? Because, the dropout day is coming up. So I was like, should we drop out now? And like, we just looked at each other, like nah, because he does this thing where like you can do a grade replacement with your final. And if you have a greater final grade than your midterms, he'll replace that. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just study. Let's just ball out. Let's just ball out. And I would never forget this. I think this is like one of my most memorable memories here in Cal State Fullerton. Probably like kind of like stapled. Like, hey, I belong. I remember just grinding and studying my behind off, and I remember just that whole week just going over problems. I would come here from 6 a.m. and then leave at 12 a.m. It was bad. My homie Kevin, he even, since he has work here, he decided to just sleep in the library and go to work. It was real funny, but like, I was like, hey. And then test day came, and it was like the most nerve-wracking thing ever. I remember for the final, it was just one problem. Like, man. But I remember seeing this problem, and we've done it so many times. We've at least done it like 10 times over and over, what the possibility might go wrong. And I think from there, after like, I felt so confident doing that problem. And luckily, like, me and my homie Kevin, we walked out of there at the same time. I would say like, he walked out of there first, and then I walked out behind him. And then we was in the elevator, actually in this room, E201, and we asked each other, like, you got the same number? You got the same number? You got the same number? We were screaming in the elevator, like, wow, celebrating. And then I remember my homie was telling me, like, we heard you guys in the class. And I remember I managed to get a 104 for that final, which bumped my grade up from I think it was an F to a B. I do want to get an internship this summer. That's why I went to that the GMI convention that you told me. It was really insightful. Yes, I've learned of like how to like talk to interviewers. I've learned how to like fix my resume. I've just managed to connect with people that that I would not be able to connect if I just, if I wasn't outgoing, if I wasn't, just go up to them, just talk to them, just have a small conversation. If it wasn't even for connect or just, because some of them would just stand around and it's like, hey bro, how's you doing? Just be friendly. So, how you like the convention so far? And like, good. And like, they would have their name tag and like what company they work for. So awesome. Like, oh, I see you work for Lockheed Martin. And I would be like, oh yeah. And they would tell me like what they do and how they like it. And, I would ask them like, oh, so how were you able to get this job? Like, what's your story? And then, people love sharing their story, like what I'm doing right now. And, then sometimes you're able to relate to that. And that's what I like to hear. Like when I'm able to relate to their story, it makes me feel like, hey, I'm not the first one doing this. Like it makes me feel more comfortable. Like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it.